Hi everybody, welcome back once again to the Eastfield Gunroom YouTube channel with me, Matthew Morgan. Now, before we start, I just want to say that today, this video is proudly sponsored by the British Shooting Show. We will be exhibiting there, we'll have a number of guns, so do feel free to come along and say hello. Thanks to everybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't done it and you do enjoy our videos, give us that thumbs up and click the like button because we do appreciate your support. So today's video is the last of the laminates. It sounds like a Netflix documentary from floors to go, but it's not. We're going to look once again at a laminate stock shotgun. Now, a few weeks back, we looked at the brand new Beretta 688 Performance. If you haven't seen it, do check the video out. And that was Beretta's first foray into the world of laminate on any kind of shotgun or rifle ever. So it's quite big news. Prior to that, we've looked at the Browning 525 SL. So today we've got its bigger brother. This is the Ultra XS BL. So this particular gun is a limited edition gun. It is an EWA special. If you haven't heard about the EWA specials before on the channel, where have you been? We've done a number of them. Basically, just to recap, every year there is an enormous shooting exhibition in Nuremberg in Germany, which is called EWA. And what happens there is shotgun manufacturers, rifle manufacturers, firearms manufacturers, all kind of shooting industry manufacturers all come together with their new products for the coming year, so the dealers and all those sort of people can have a look at them and give their feedback. So this particular gun was a limited edition EWA gun. Like I said, it's kind of the big brother to the 525 SL, which is the Sport laminate, which if you don't know is the one that's got grey furniture as opposed to this kind of graphite carbon black looking stuff. And this was a homage to the Ultra XS Pro, if you like, which is a current gun, a popular gun. It's their kind of deep body, all singing, all dancing competition model with barrel weight, stock weights, all that kind of stuff. And what it does is it offers someone that doesn't really like wood or wants the practicality of laminate to have a laminate stock version. So we will start off with the action. We have got the traditional kind of brushed finish as you would expect on an Ultra XS Pro, which is of course the gun I'm going to compare it to because essentially underneath it is an XS Pro, you could argue, in wolf's clothing. And what you've got is you've got this brush polish. We've got the word Ultra XS on the side. Now with the XS Pro, you have XS Pro. If we go back to the previous model years ago, it said Ultra XS. So what Browning have done, they've got the old model and the current model, put them together and come up with the word Ultra XS. Brilliant. And of course the BL, which stands for black laminate, we've got SL on the Sport laminate 525. So that just kind of confirms exactly what it is just by looking at the side of the action. It's no surprise to see a plain looking gun other than that, because ultimately the Ultra XS range is targeted at the competition target shooter market. So on the top lever, it is again a brushed finish with a checkered paddle and the black Browning bookmark, which of course is the famous symbol of Browning. And on the back strap, we've just got the serial number and the standard selector, which you'd get on a standard Ultra XS. This gun is a 2023. I believe that was the year this gun was launched in terms of a limited edition. And I think the very last few of them, I couldn't say how many was in terms of numbers. I think about maybe between 500 and 1,000, because it's not a limited product like the MK38 competition, for example. And they are still about now and they are still tricking through. So if you do want one, the good news is a limited edition, but they're not all gone. Onto the underside of the action, and we have the continuation of the bold graphics, what the gun is, Browning Ultra XS BL. I actually prefer the graphics on the bottom to the graphics on the side. I think they're probably a little bit too big and a little bit in your face. But the argument there is if you're going to walk around with a gun with a laminate stock on, you're going to get noticed anyway. Trigger guard, again, satin brushed with the black bookmark, and we've got a polished trigger, which I think goes really, really well. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we looked at the new 825 S3. Remarkably, that had got a gold trigger on the gun and two of these in the box. Work that out. It's the standard adjustable trigger system from Browning. So you've got those 3 indentations on the side of the rail, and a top tip from me. I know everyone loves the top tip from me. You've got to have it directly in line so the two knobbly bits line up, because otherwise you can put excess pressure on the internals of the trigger block. The Forend iron, shock horror, satin brushed, no graphics on it, plain as you like, finish it off nicely. So now we're going to look at the barrels. If we compare this to the standard Ultra XS Pro, which, like I said, it's a version of, we have got, starting with the top rib, we have got 13 by 10 tapered. So it's not the same as your kind of MK38 525 standard gear, which is 10mm parallel, but we have got the tram line and we have got the center bead. At the business end, we've got a high-vis true glow kind of sight. The idea of this, of course, is that the light is picked up by the fibre opticness, and that enhances the shooter's vision. Then we move on to the chokes. Now, this is an Invector Plus system gun. same as the XS Pro, same as the 525, same as the MK38, which gives us 18.7 bores and Invector Plus choke system. This particular gun comes with Midas chokes, which is basically the black ones with the gold bands that comes with the 525 SL. And again, going back in time, the original Ultra XS. The finish on the barrels themselves, we have got a completely matte black finish. You remember the 525 SL is gloss, and the standard Ultra XS Pro, if I can call it standard because it's a great gun, has got gloss finish barrels as well. So this is just another different touch to try and make it complement the dark, sleek look of the gun because the laminate woodwork. Ventilated barrels, as you would get with a Ultra XS. We've got blued barrel wings. Again, on Ultra XS, they are, from memory, they are brushed, they are not blued. And we've got no engine turning on any of the lump or the ejectors, which I would imagine is largely a cost-saving exercise. Incidentally, my aged eyes have just spotted something on the barrels here. I did say it was 18.7 bore because it's Invector Plus. This one's actually bored at 18.8, which is something I've not seen before. Coupling up with that, we have got the standard fleur-de-lis and CIP steel shot-proof marks. This particular gun, I haven't mentioned this yet, is a 32-inch. This was available in 30 and 32-inch. And on these 32-inch ventilated, top rib and ventilated barrels, we have got about 15, 60-gram barrels, which for a 32-inch gun is about right. Now, this particular gun is £8, 14 ounces in 32-inch. It's quite a lump, but of course, the reason for that is it's got laminate furniture. Now, the good thing with laminate furniture, however, it is very consistent. What you've got to remember is you will go and you will pick up a 525 with a wooden stock off a shelf and you'll pick up another one. And because those guns will have slightly different wood, because of course not every piece of wood is the same, the density will vary, the weight will vary, and the gun will have a different feel. If you want something that's consistent, for argument's sake, you wanted two guns exactly the same, a bit like a pair, going for a laminate stock will be a good idea because you will get consistency. So at £8, 14 ounces, so how does it balance? Pretty good, to be fair, you know, not bad. I would say that was going to give the shooter the weight nicely between the hands, give them the control over the gun. Obviously, with it being quite a heavy gun and having overbore barrels, extra overbore barrels, it's going to be very smooth on recoil as well because of all that extra weight in the back end. So if you did want a gun that's low recoil, always consider a laminate. Talking of laminate, that is probably the most obvious thing on this gun. We have got here, in stark contrast to the 525 SL, which is grey, light grey, dove grey, I think I described it as the video. Much darker, like a more carbon, graphite kind of look. Not dissimilar to the 688 Performance, but if you actually, this sounds crazy, you actually feel the laminate, it does feel slightly different. However, I would imagine, because these stocks won't be manufactured by Beretta and Browning respectively, I would imagine that the laminate stocks on both guns come out the same factory. So what we've got here, we have got on the right-hand side of the stock, we have got no palm swell because, again, it's an Ultra XS clone, if you like, so there's no palm swell on it at all, which means if you are left-handed, this is not a bad choice because we've got no palm swell, neutral cast, and if you did want to go all out and have a left-handed opener, they do an Ultra XS left-hand, fully left-handed opening. We have got factory adjustable comb, the system through the back. I like that. It gives plenty of adjustment. It's a good, strong system. I've said time and time again, if you're going to buy a gun from the Browning Ultra XS range, particularly the Pro, get a post-2019 gun that hasn't got the screws on the side because that's not a very good system. Inflex recoil pad on the back. So this is a 20mm one. So we've got currently with the trigger in the middle position, just a smidge under 15 inches. Obviously, with this having the modular system of the Inflex pad, you can get longer ones, shorter ones, spaces, whatever. Just bear in mind before you go and you click whatever you got on your basket when you're buying a pad online that you get the one with the hole in the back, because otherwise you can't adjust your cone. On the other side, we have got, well, hey, a bookmark. Now, this one's cleverly been laser cut into the checkering. Quite like it, not offended by it. Obviously, Browning are very proud of their heritage, so they're trying to stick badges on all over the lights. You know, it's a bit like if you've got a kid who's into Pokemon, he walks around covered in stickers. The actual feel of the grip, because with the laminate, you tend to get a coarser checkering, very, very grippy. I've shot a 525 SL a number of times, and one thing I've always noticed is you do get a very good degree of grip. Other than that, it is basically a grey piece of laminate. You know, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's designed to go out, be all weather, take it pigeon shooting, although bear in mind it is quite a heavy gun. Having said that, you're going on a big day on the pigeons, like, oh man, Mr. Digweed shoots 200-300 a day. You want a gun that's got a bit of weight in it. On to the forend. Now, If Browning had gone and put a Schnabel forend on this like the 525 SL, I would have been mortified. Let's not forget, with the XS Pro, you get a beaver tail. Thankfully, they've took the ergonomics and the design of the XS Pro and carried it through into the Ultra XS Black laminate. Beaver tail forend, standard style checkering, of course, to match the stock, polished forend latch. So take the forend off, have a look inside. As you would expect, we have got the serial number stamped into the forend iron itself, also laser cut into the laminate, and other than that, it's a piece of grey laminate, well, black. Pop that back on, and we'll have a look at the box. So those who are Ultra XS Pro owners, you will be shouting at the screen, "That's not the box." Well, you're right, it's not. This is the standard plastic Browning case, the blown plastic case that comes with the Ultra XS BL. Again, purely going to be a cost-cutting exercise because there is quite a considerable difference between the price of one of these and an Ultra XS Pro. So let's open it up. And inside we have got some egg box foam. We have got the stock bolt tool. It's probably been a few weeks since I've mentioned about the importance of tightening up your stock. You could argue with a laminate stock it's not quite as important because the wood is already super strong because it's glued together. But it's always a good idea to put it up the back and wang it up. So in here we have got the proof certificate from Belgium, serial number of the gun, barrel length, etc. It does actually say there we've got the 18.8 barrels, the boring. Also we've got the barrel weight, which on here is 1.567 kilograms, which for a 32-inch gun is a nice weight. And that's pretty much that with that. Book of words, which as usual illustrates that you should not point it at the cat, put the forend in the washing machine, all that kind of stuff. If you've ever read one of these from cover to cover, comment below. And then finally we've got the warranty, which here in the UK is 3 years across the board as standard and 10 years on the action. And that concludes the paperwork. So we looked at the chokes in the gun, and if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you will recognise the fact that we have looked at quite a few guns, Ultra XS Pro, the Browning 825, the new 825, and in both cases, they give you a plethora of chokes that you're never going to use. Surprise, surprise, folks, they've done it again. So what we've got with this, we've got 8 Midas chokes, which of course are the black ones with the gold band, the extended chokes, which I think look quite nice, and certainly in this gun I think they complement the whole look of it very nicely. But you have got some you're never going to use. You've got full, extra full, super full, NASA full, okay, but you've also got the ones you are going to use: quarter, half, 3/4, improved cylinder, modified, improved, modified, and cylinder, etc. So there are some useful chokes, but there are also some that you're probably going to just stick in a drawer and never use again. In addition to the sandwich bag of chokes, we have got the spare triggers. So again, with the Ultra XS Pro, the MK38 competition, that kind of stuff, you get the polished skinny trigger on the gun, you get the checkered trigger, gives you a little bit more grip, and also you get the one that's slightly curved that just gives you potentially a better hand position for the right-handed shooter. T-bar Browning key, high-vis foresight bead kit, obviously we've got one on there as it is. Auto safety kit, should you ever want to convert the gun to auto safety, take a game shooting, probably not. Allen key for the adjustable comb, and finally Allen key for the trigger. One thing I failed to point out when we were talking about the weight of the gun and the stock balance, etc. This gun is also ready to accept the Browning Pro System stock weights. Should you want to put a bit more extra weight in the back of the stock, you can just buy a set. They're not included with the gun and you can pop them in. So that concludes what is probably going to be the last of the laminates. We've looked at the 688, we've looked at the 525 SL. This Ultra XS BL concludes the series. We're never going to look at the 525 game laminate because that was a god-awful shotgun. If you've got any questions about this particular gun, comment below or contact me directly. Tell me what you think about it. Do you like the laminate? Do you not like the laminate? Have you got one of these? Would you prefer it to a gun with a wooden stock? Let's chat away. Don't forget to check out the website. Don't forget to, if you enjoyed the video, do hit like, do hit subscribe. And from me and the last of the laminates, I'll see you next time.